Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. The wait is over. Google has finally launched the new 10th generation Pixel phones, and this is the biggest lineup they have ever released. We now have the Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL, and even the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Expectations were high, and Google has brought some meaningful changes this year. I've had a chance to get hands-on with all of them, so let's dive into what's new. The first thing you notice is the design. Google had already teased us with images on social media, but seeing them in person, they really do feel more premium. The famous camera bar is still here, and by now it has become part of the Pixel identity. But the materials are upgraded. We now get Gorilla Glass Victus 2, IP68 water and dust resistance, and a much more refined flagship build. The phones come in new colors too: obsidian, frost, indigo, and lemongrass. Small touches also stand out, like how the speaker grills now match the frame color, and the top speaker has been improved for better sound. The display has also taken a big leap forward, with brightness going all the way up to 3000 nits. That makes it far easier to see outdoors, and the viewing experience indoors looks sharper and more vibrant. But what's inside is even more exciting. Google has introduced two major upgrades this year across the lineup: triple cameras and Pixel Snap. For years, the base Pixel phones had fewer cameras, but now the Pixel 10 also has three. The setup includes a 48-megapixel main camera, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel telephoto lens with 5x zoom. This instantly makes the photography experience on the base model much more versatile, and it's a welcome change. The second big upgrade is Pixel Snap. This is Google's new system for wireless charging with magnets built into the phone. It's their answer to Apple's MagSafe. With Pixel Snap, the Pixel 10 supports G2 wireless charging at 15 watts, and accessories can snap onto the back of the phone with magnets. This opens up a whole ecosystem of chargers, stands, and even non-charging accessories like a Pixel Ring stand. What's great is that iPhone MagSafe accessories also line up and work with it. Google is selling its own Pixel Snap charger and ring, but the bigger story here is compatibility and future expansion of accessories. So the base Pixel already looks very strong this year. But what about the Pro models? For a while, the difference between the base Pixel and the Pro version has not felt huge. That trend continues, but there are some important upgrades. Both the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro are the same size at 6.3 inches, but the Pro has a sharper, slightly brighter display with LTPO technology. That means it can scale refresh rates all the way from 1 to 120 Hz, while the base model goes from 60 to 120. The Pro also comes with more RAM, higher storage options, and a slightly smaller battery because of the larger camera system. And those cameras are where the Pro really stands out. It upgrades to a 50-megapixel main sensor, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 48-megapixel telephoto with 5x zoom. Thanks to this, you can now zoom up to 100x with the help of Pro Residential Zoom, which uses AI to process and clean up the images. The base model, in comparison, maxes out at 20x. The Pro is available in new colors like Moonstone, Jade, and Porcelain. The question is whether these upgrades are worth the jump. The difference in cameras and performance may matter for power users, but for many people the base Pixel already feels strong enough this year. Still, the Pro does give you more headroom and flexibility, and it will be interesting to test how much better those higher resolution sensors really perform in real-world use. The Pixel 10 Pro XL adds even more to the mix. It comes with a bigger display and a larger 5200 mAh battery. Storage starts higher than the smaller models, and charging is faster. You now get up to 45 watts wired, compared to 30 watts on the regular Pixel 10. Wireless charging is also upgraded to 25 watts thanks to Qi 2.2 support. These changes make the XL more appealing for heavy users who want more power, battery life, and screen real estate. The prices for these three models have stayed the same as last year, which is refreshing. The Pixel 10 starts at $799, the Pro at $999, and the Pro XL at $1,199. But of course, the one everyone has been curious about is the foldable, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. This device shows how far Google has come since its first attempt at a foldable. The hinge has been redesigned, and now it's gearless. This makes it slimmer and allows the left bezel to be much thinner. As a result, the outer display feels more natural, more like a normal phone. It's a 6.4-inch screen with a 20:9 aspect ratio, 120 Hz refresh rate, and the same 3000 nit peak brightness. It's actually very usable on its own without even opening the phone. The Fold is also IP68 rated this year, which is a first for foldables. It means real resistance to both dust and water, a huge step forward for durability. Inside, you still get a large 8-inch inner display. The crease is still noticeable, but not terrible. The battery has been bumped up to 5000 mAh, and Pixel Snap wireless charging is supported here too. The phone runs on the Tensor G5 chip with 16 gigs of RAM and up to a terabyte of storage. The cameras are slightly upgraded, with a new 48-megapixel main sensor, but the other lenses remain similar to last year. The Fold costs $1,799 and comes in jade and moonstone colors. It feels more polished and refined, but not groundbreaking. It doesn't try to beat Samsung or others in specs like charging speed or camera count, but it delivers that Pixel software experience in a foldable form. And really, that's the heart of the Pixel story. Hardware improvements are important, but what sets the Pixel apart is software. Google continues to focus on making the phone smarter rather than just packing in the biggest numbers. This year, two new software features stand out: Magic Cues and conversational editing. Magic Cues is all about surfacing useful information at the right time. For example, if you're texting someone and they ask about your dinner reservation, the phone can instantly pull that info from Gmail and suggest it right in the conversation. Or if you need to call an airline, it can show your flight details and confirmation number while you're on the call. It's simple but very powerful, and only Google can pull this off because of how integrated its services are. Conversational editing is another big one. Instead of fiddling with photo editing tools, you can just tell your phone what you want. Say you want to remove a plastic bag from a picture. You can just ask the phone, and it will do it using AI. You can change skies, remove objects, or even add things into photos. It works surprisingly well and doesn't require any editing skills. The only real limit is that it avoids messing with faces. The best part is that this is not limited to the Pixel 10. It's coming to Google Photos for everyone, which means millions of people will get access to this feature. Other useful features include a new Pixel Journal app and live translation during calls. You can now speak in one language, and the other person will hear your voice translated into their language, but still sounding like your actual voice. That kind of AI-driven feature feels futuristic, but it's here now on the Pixel. All of this is powered by the new Tensor G5 chip. It's built on a 3-nanometer process and brings better efficiency. Google isn't trying to beat Snapdragon in raw benchmarks, but instead is focusing on AI, image processing, and smooth real-world performance. The phones feel fast and snappy in daily use, but the real test will be how well they hold up over the years. Alongside the phones, Google also launched the Pixel Watch 4 and new Pixel Buds 2a. The Watch 4 has a brighter domed display, faster charging with a new dock, and 25% longer battery life. The Buds 2A feature active noise cancellation and a sleek design. Together, they expand the Pixel ecosystem and make it easier for users to stay within the Google family of devices. So what's the overall impression? The Pixel 10 series feels like a solid step forward. The base model finally gets triple cameras and Pixel Snap, the Pro models offer higher-end photography and display features, the XL gives you more power and battery, and the Fold is a more refined second-generation foldable. Prices staying the same is also a big plus. But as always, it's the software that makes the Pixel special. Features like Magic Cues, conversational editing, and live call translation show just how much value Google can add through AI. That's my first look at the new Pixel 10 lineup. I'll be testing these devices more over the coming weeks to see how they perform in detail, especially the cameras, battery life, and long-term performance. So if you're interested, make sure to stay tuned for those reviews. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you get the latest updates right here on Spec Hunter.